All right, guys, here we go now. It is time to unlock more doors to deals. We're real estate investors here. We're real estate agents here, and we all have one thing in common. We believe that we can. We can live the life of our purpose. We can create financial freedom. We can build a better life for those that we love, and we can live the life of our dreams. I don't care if you're trying to do your first deal or your 500th this year. You can get to the next level, and we're here to help. Hey guys, Jim here. I just wanted to get real with you. One of the goals of what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to be real and candid and raw with what we have going on, okay? One of my pet peeves in this industry is there's a lot of gurus out there that make everything sound like it's this best, amazing thing ever, and that you're not going to run into any problems, and that money's just going to grow on this tree that they give you. And you're not going to have to deal with anything. And unfortunately, I got news for you is that if you think you're not going to have any problems, you think you're not going to have any obstacles, you think you're not going to have to overcome anything, well, you have a rude awakening, because that's just not what's going to happen. Yes, you can make a ton of money in real estate investing. Yes, you can live the life of your dreams. Yes, you can become financially free. And it's not a free lunch. So when life really kicked me on the curb, when life really knocked me down, was when I was 3 years into the investing game. I started out really slow. I only did one deal in my first 18 months. But after that, we really started to hit a groove with my business partner, Ryan Wessels, and myself. And every penny that I made, I was reinvesting into flips so I could make more money, because instead of doing one flip at a time, now I was up to 3 flips at a time. Instead of making $20K every 4 months, I could make $60K at the same time, right? Because I had these 3 flips going on. And Ryan and I bought 3 turds in a row. The repairs went way over what we thought. Then when we got them on the market, they just sat there, and they sat and they sat. And so I'm 3 years into the game now. I'm 25, 26 years old, whatever the heck it was. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, the only way I can eat next month is to get an interest-free credit card and to live off of it, knowing that I'm not going to be able to actually pay any of these bills until I sell one of these properties. And then the properties sat on the market, and they sat, and they weren't selling, and we were starting to have to drop the prices. And then I was in a situation where I had to sell the first property before I sold the second property, because I had more money in the first. So I had to be able to cover the loss on the second one, I had to sell the first one first. And all this stress, all this anxiety led me to the hospital. My grandma was sick, and I was visiting her, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, my grandma's dying. And I passed out. I hit my head, had 2 seizures, and was sitting in the hospital bed not knowing what the heck happened. I don't know if you've ever had life knock you on your butt, or just kind of been blindsided by life, and something coming up, whether that's a death or the loss of a loved one, or you name it. But at that moment, I got knocked down, and I had 48 hours before I could have a test to know if there was something wrong with my head and I was dying, or if the news was okay, I just was stressed out and hit my head because of the stress, and just maybe I'm just a little bit of a wimp because I was worried about my grandma too, right? And so I remember sitting at the hospital bed, and to my side was my then girlfriend, Kelly, of only a couple months we had been dating. And she was there all weekend with me. I was thinking about my life. And I remember I woke up at like 1 a.m. I look over, and I see her sitting in like the most uncomfortable hospital chair that like doesn't really fold back, and it's got like these wood arms. I see her just uncomfortable sleeping. And I had this epiphany that, okay, I'm going to marry this girl. This is the one for me. This is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so that moment of joy, I had that brief moment. It was the best moment all weekend since I had hit my head that I had had. was immediately followed. So imagine that clarity feeling of that joyful feeling of you found the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and then immediately followed by the depressing thought of knowing you can't afford to pay for a ring for her, and that you can't start the rest of your life because, one, you might be dying, or if you're not dying, you have this whole real estate thing that's kind of become handcuffs. And instead of setting me free, which is why I got into real estate, it had become a burden for me. I had started to hate this whole thing. And so I remember sitting there not knowing what was going to happen. And I remember saying a prayer to God. I just said, hey, if on Monday, I don't know what it's going to be. If I'm dying, please help me with that. We'll figure that out. But if I'm not, help me. I want to do everything that I can in my power to marry Kelly. And I ended up getting news that everything was negative in the hospital. They didn't really know why I passed out, but they said, hey, everything else looks okay. So that was the great news. But then it was immediately followed by, oh, by the way, you can't drive for 6 months. So now I had the challenge of not being able to drive for 6 months. I had the goal or the desire of wanting to marry the love of my life. And I had these 3 properties that weren't selling that I was going to lose my you-know-what on. And at that time, I kind of dug my heels in and I said, you know what? I'm going to find a way. No matter what happens, let's make this happen. And there were ups and downs during that journey. But the one thing I would tell you is that Kelly and my business partner, Ryan, they were there for me every step of the way. And the days that maybe I didn't believe in myself, they believed in me. And somehow, some way, we scratched and we crawled and we dug ourselves out of the hole and were able to get back to even by doing, I think we did 30 short sale listings or 40 short sale listings as realtors at that point. So we were licensed to run up comparables. And then we just decided, hey, we need to be a real estate agents for a little while. So for that next 12 months, we actually had to stop investing altogether to be able to overcome these bad deals that we did. And somehow, some way, we crawled our way, scratched our way out of it. And then about another 12 months later followed, I was able to propose. And now my wife, Kelly, and I are married. We have 3 kids. We have a 4th on the way. And we were able to make it happen. And the biggest lesson that I learned on this whole thing was that make sure you get the right people around you. That when life knocks you on your butt and you're kind of out of gas, you feel like you don't have enough to go on, you can. There's another whole level that you have for yourself. You can go on and you can make it happen. And when you have the people around you that believe in you, even more so than you believe in yourself, you can do anything. So we were able to make that happen. And then we kind of learned the lesson of, okay, well, if we're going to flip houses at a high level, we do want to have some sort of other income stream coming on. So that's when we kind of opened up our own real estate brokerage, and we were investing and running our own brokerage for a number of years after that. With an agent team and everything like that. And somehow, some way, we just started then getting the right mentors around us, getting the right people around us, and everything hinged from those right relationships, from the right people. We were able to start avoiding some of the school of hard knocks, and we learned invaluable lessons like, I don't recommend that you put all of your money into the repairs on properties anymore. There's other loans that you can get. There's, whether that's from private lenders or hard money lenders, you name it, there's other ways to structure deals that, had I just known what I know now, I could have avoided the whole thing. And anyway, so what we're going to do here is we're going to be real with what's going on, and we're going to share exactly some of the sticking points and the painful stuff. And we're going to talk about a lot of the great stuff too. And the goal is that we're just going to be real. We're going to make things happen. So that's kind of the story of what's happened in the evolution of of me and my journey. Thanks for tuning into this show. For more episodes and resources that will unlock doors to deals, check out our website, doorstodeals.com.